Welcome back into the second episode of Between the Lines podcast. Today is a very special day.
It is a very special day.
Very special day. First day of probably a long
list of guests.
Yeah, long list of guests. Don't want to tell you those guests because, to be honest with you, don't know who's coming on next.
Honestly, I don't know.
Don't know, but today's going to be a special one. Before we get into anything, though, over the weekend, Albert Pujols hits home run number 698.
698.
It is 2 away from 700, Myron. My question is to you. They kind of start off every episode. We'll probably just start with a new question every time. What game, if you can predict, will he hit number 700?
All right, Pujols is like 40 years old. He's an ancient relic. So I'm going to say he breaks it within the next 5 games because you said they had about 30 games left this year. So I think he breaks it within the next 5 games.
Next 5?
Yeah.
I'm going to go over that 5.
Are you going to go over?
I'm going to say he breaks it by the 10th game.
10th? That works perfectly fine with me.
If he does, he does it. Congratulations if you hit this one before the episode's out. Congratulations, 700. If not, hit it in your 10th game and not the 5th game, so I can get it right. All right, let's get into North Central Corner, where we always start with North Central sports. Starting with the 3, well, last week, all 3 of them were undefeated.
They were.
This week, 1 remains undefeated. We'll start with them. Men's soccer, 6-0-2. All right, 6-0-2. Last time we saw them, they tied. Yeah, with a big win. They tied twice before that, and then they ended up winning on a 3-game winning streak by beating number 24 Wartburg College 3-0.
That's a big win. But this last game they just played versus Dubuque, they won 3-1, scoring 2 goals in the first and then 1 goal in the second, giving up their shutout in the second half. But this men's soccer team is dominant. I think they're on a run that they had the momentum from last year, and they're going to keep it going. So it's going to be interesting to see how their next few games turn out for them.
Yeah, I just wonder, are they going to keep that undefeated streak? Are we going to see them undefeated when we get back?
We would love to see undefeated streak, but sometimes it's just not our day all the time. So it's going to be interesting to see, but I think they have the fire under them, and they're going to keep it going.
Moving over to women's soccer, they were undefeated when we first talked about them. Now they're 6-1-1. They lost to Loris. They were going into Loris in a ranked game. Loris was ranked at the time. They're not ranked anymore, but it was 3-2 with a tough defeat, but a very close game. Very, very close game for them in that one. They ended up scoring 2 goals in the second, but it just wasn't enough as they gave up 2 goals to Loris, and they gave up 1 in the first.
It's a big game. Loris has always been tough. Like you said, they are a ranked opponent. So these young ladies, they know exactly what to expect, So they end up turning it around versus Hope College and Knox College, winning 3-1 and then 5-1.
Yeah, that was on senior day too. It was a very big game.
So it's a great game for them. They're definitely going to keep it going with their next game upcoming versus Wisconsin Oshkosh this Wednesday at Wisconsin Oshkosh.
Yeah, they travel up to Oshkosh for that one, and then they start CCIW play with Elmhurst. With an Elmhurst there on this Saturday. So
that's crazy. Back-to-back Elmhurst teams for the Cardinals. That's interesting.
Very interesting for you guys as well, because you guys are facing Elmhurst for football. As your first there. Before we get into football, we'll talk about football later when we bring on our guest. But women's volleyball, last game we talked about this one for a little bit just because they're facing the ranked opponent of University of Wisconsin Whitewater, and I feel like we jinxed them. All right, Myron, I think we jinxed them.
We talked too high, like we did jinx it. You're right.
Yeah, we were up. They were 4-0, and we were hyping them up. We're like, this team's very good, very dominant, and then they lose 3 straight.
It happens. It just wasn't their day. You have to play 3 great teams in 2 days, so it's understandable. It's a learning experience for them. They have CCIW play next versus Augustana, actually starting tomorrow, where they have to travel to Augustana. So it's going to be a big testament to see how they can bounce back for those 3 losses after they're starting the season 4-0. So it should be interesting to see how this women's volleyball team bounces back.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. I for sure think if they can find a way to be that same team that started off 4-0 and kind of find that sort of groove, find that sort of dominance, I think you could see a nice little CCIW run. I don't see why not.
I definitely think we can run the CCIW. It's just depending on the day. Like, are we going to have a good day or are we going to have a bad day? So it's going to be interesting to see how things play out for us.
Yeah, we'll see how things play out. Hopefully, next time we talk, we have undefeated men's soccer. We only have a 1-loss women's soccer and only a 3-loss as of right now. 3-loss women's volleyball team. That's kind of the goal. It's a goal. But another team that stayed undefeated, you guys, football.
It was a great team win. A lot of people showed out, especially guys on the defensive line. They stepped up big this weekend, along with a lot of guys that don't get a lot of recognition as well. So it continued to build a great team experience. We're going to continue to get better each and every week. So I can't wait to see how we attack the week in practice and continue to build as we play this Elmhurst team.
Hey, you guys start your home stand for at least for 2 games. For 2 games.
3 out of 4.
3 out of 4. But you guys won 59-7. Before we get anything into that, let's bring on our guest here. I got a little bit of an intro before he comes on. All right. Our guest today is our first ever guest on the podcast. He is a senior on the football field, a graduate student in the classroom. He's a 4-year starter on the best defensive line in Division III football. I will go down and say that is the best Division III. Best, yes. Well, you're on the defensive line, so you're a part of that. Last season was probably his best season, where he started all 14 games at defensive end, recording 35 tackles, 22 of them solo, totaling a season high of 6 and 2 occasions there. Ranked 3rd in the CCIW for tackles for a loss at 15.5 and 4th in quarterback sacks at 8.5. He's a first team. He earned first team all CCIW honors, D3Football.com first team all region, and 3rd team all America and Associated Press second team all American. He has a better head of lettuce than me and a beard that Myron strives for. It's number 9, Dan Gilroy.
That was awesome, man.
Damn.
That was awesome. I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you coming on today.
Of course. It's an honor to be the first guest on. Let's see. Let's make sure I don't pull it too bad. On Between the Lines, right? Yep. So yeah, I appreciate you guys having me on.
Yeah, that was a lot of accolades there that I had to read off a little bit.
Yeah. I mean. It is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah.
It is what it is. All right.
Hey, you're a great football player, so you deserve to get all the recognition that you deserve. Glad you did decide to come on the podcast today, so can't wait to get it rolling.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. To start, you are a 5th year, so just to kind of set the stage, why did you come back to play football? Because you've been to 2 Stag Bowls, you've won 1. I know you lost last year. A little bad way to go out, I guess, to say the least. But you went out and have one of the best, sort of seasons, I would have to say, at least for me, looking at it from the outside in. I know that maybe you can speak on whether that 2019 season would kind of be your best season or this previous season. But why did you come back?
So to be honest, I really wasn't sure. I didn't think about it all. During the season last year, figured I'd wait, see how the season plays out, and then I'd make my decision afterwards. Really, that last game just left a super sour taste in my mouth. Yeah. It was different, going up against those guys and not feeling in control. Every other game that year, we felt control in the game. We felt we controlled. How we moved the ball, how we played defense. Even against like Wheaton, Mount Union, UW La Crosse, we felt in control, and from halftime on, felt like we had no control over what was going to happen of the game, and I was pretty banged up after the year. Didn't really do much of anything. I think all of winter break, I probably spent majority of the day just sitting on the couch, not doing anything. So I had plenty of time to reflect, and I watched the game probably like 10 or 15 times. We actually didn't get the film because I think the NCAA forgot to record it or something. Yeah, so I had to rewatch it on YouTube. Just the whole experience left a super sour taste in my mouth. I I had felt under the weather going into the game too, and really just wanted to come back to hopefully win another natty, not only for myself but especially for the younger guys on the team who weren't on the team in 2019. Right now it's only us fifth-year guys who came back, and then the remaining seniors that have won a national championship. There's 3 whole classes of people who haven't been able to do that yet. And just from my experience in 2019, it was one of the best feelings I've ever had in my life. Yeah. So to be able to do that again, and especially to get that for the younger guys, would mean a ton to me. And hopefully we can try and cement ourselves as one of those permanent powers in Division III with how we play, and hopefully from here on it's history. But I guess to sum all that up, that's kind of the reason why I decided to come back.
That sour taste, you wanted to avenge it, pretty much avenge that loss. Yeah. Halfway through that sort of that time frame of you kind of deciding whether you're going to come back, coaching change happens. Mm-hmm. Coach Thorin goes on to be the offensive coordinator, I believe, at Western Michigan, and sort of Coach Stevens comes on, and he is now the new head coach. How was that sort of communication with him, trying to, when, I guess for every fifth-year guy, I don't know if you talked to a bunch of other guys, why they came back and stuff like that. Was that sort of, was any of those talks with maybe Coach Stevens or the coaching staff, wondering what's going to happen now that this coaching changed? Like, how did that sort of play out? Because, you played under Thorne for 3 seasons.
Yeah.
So
4 if you include the the COVID year. But no, when Coach Spencer took over, there was no doubt in my mind that things were going to keep going in the right direction. He I had gotten to know him pretty well over the past 4 years, just because we would always talk sneakers together.
Oh, really? We talked about it on the first podcast. Coach Stevens got some drip.
Yeah. So
Coach Spencer.
I don't got any heat on right now, but me and him would always talk shoes together. And he was always, whenever I talked to him, he was always an awesome guy. And I had no doubt in my mind that when he got announced as the head coach that we would be just fine and just keep chugging along on what we were planning to do. So that really didn't affect my decision much at all. If anything, I was really excited to get to experience and be able to be a part of this team for his first year as a head coach. So he says it's not about him, but I really want to be able to make his first year something special.
Oh, yeah, something magical.
Yeah. So that if anything, it almost pushed me more to want to come back for him.
So Dan, a lot of people don't know. You're a 5th year here now. What made you decide to come to North Central College and play football?
Yeah, so it was 5 years ago, so it kind of
a long time ago.
Long time ago. Funny story is I actually never planned on playing college football. Maybe when I was like 7th, 8th grade, I thought, that was something I'd want to do. But as I went through high school, I actually started off high school with, I broke one of my vertebrae in my back. So I was out my entire freshman year. Sophomore year, shattered my collarbone, didn't play at all my sophomore year. So that drive to play college football kind of disappeared, and I was really just trying to get through high school football. Where I come from, there's it's a great program. I love the coaches, loved all my teammates, really enjoyed playing with them. So that drive to play college football kind of just dissipated as my drive to try and win state in high school increased. That was all I had ever dreamed about was winning state, and we lost it was the second round of the playoffs, and that was tough. But over time, that itch to play football started to come back, and I knew a guy on the team. Actually, he was a captain in 2018, Matt Sutherland. He played
Suds.
Yeah,
You played baseball.
You played baseball.
Played baseball with them. Yeah, Suds.
So I knew that he came to North Central, and one of the coaches was coming on a school visit to talk to me. So I figured, at least I'd hear him out. If I wasn't interested, then I'd put it away and I'd go to some big school and go there.
Go have fun.
Yeah, have fun. But really liked talking with Coach Whalen. Was the coach who came in. He's no longer here. He's actually at Western Michigan with Coach Thorne. But came on a visit, and I really liked talking with him. We didn't even really talk about football. We kind of just talked about life in general. And from there, came on a visit, and then one day I woke up and was like, you want to know what? Worst case scenario, I hate it and I transfer and go to a big school.
Yeah.
So you had no other offers. It was just strictly North Central.
Yeah, I didn't. I mean, I had talked to. So funny, quick side note. My high school coach actually asked if after the season he's like, hey, would you be interested in talking to college coaches? And I really wasn't interested, but I said yes, because if a college coach would come in to talk to you or other people on the team, you'd get this green slip, and you could show your teacher, and you get out of class.
Okay.
And so for a number of like coaches who came in, I would just take the green slip and I just like go to the study hall and hang out with my friends. So I had
great student.
Yeah. So I had talked to like a few other coaches. Like I had talked to some like the Pioneer League schools. I had talked to Drake. I talked to Dayton. Didn't have any interest in going to them. I didn't know anybody there. Some of the schools I'd never even heard of before. Really, the only reason I talked to North Central is because I knew Suds.
Because you knew Suds.
Yeah. So yeah, didn't really talk to any other schools. It was pretty much just North Central. Yeah.
I mean, found a gem, I guess.
We did. We definitely found a gem, in my opinion. So
yeah.
So you started your freshman year. Take us through sort of that learning process, because you at first you didn't want to play college football, but then like you had this sort of little drive with it, with when losing in the second round of playoffs for state. Take me through sort of that freshman year, kind of into that sophomore year, because you made a huge jump from freshman year to sophomore year.
Yeah. So freshman year, I came in and I still was not exactly sure about what. If this was something I wanted to do, just decided to dive head first into it. Though I dove into the playbook. Really for the whole freshman camp, like I did nothing but play football and study the playbook and watch film. I played some Xbox late at night, but that was about the only.
How long was your freshman camp?
It was 17 days.
That's long.
So 17
Wow,
days.
how long was yours, Meyer?
I didn't really get a freshman camp.
Well, yeah.
I had a COVID year.
You had 9 practices in
Tough, and then we get
that
shut
were an
down.
hour long each. Yeah,
It was a crazy time.
but so dove into that. There were a couple injuries with older guys throughout camp. Managed to make my way from like the JV team to third team, went from the third team to the second team, and then week like 4 or 5, I think it was after the Wheaton game, my freshman year, I actually got my first start, and then from there played the rest of the year. I wasn't exactly good at D-line. I knew where I needed to be, and I could.
Is that what you played in high school? Is that always
No, so
D-line?
I played.
I figured in high school there's got to be two ways.
Yeah, so I played first half of the season, my senior year. I played tight end and defensive end.
I could have guessed that. I'm not gonna lie.
I didn't know that.
So halfway through the year, actually, I moved from defensive end to linebacker and from tight end to slot running back. We ran we ran the triple option, so I was one of the wing backs. Never got the ball, but I blocked a lot.
There's some words in it.
But yeah, so I actually only had like 4 games of defensive line experience
before
before
your freshman
coming
year.
to North Central. But yeah, I honestly just wasn't really good at D-line, but I could get myself in the right spot, and I wouldn't compromise the defense, which at the time was good enough for who we had and the depth that we had. Sophomore year, put on some muscle, gained I think like 25 pounds, and things that had been moving pretty well until I sprained my ankle really bad the week going into Wheaton sophomore year, and honestly for like most of the rest of the year I was kind of back to how I was freshman year. I couldn't really do much. I felt like I had a bum ankle for probably like 9 weeks.
Couldn't really do much. Had 35 tackles, 24 solo.
Well, I mean,
6 sacks, just.
But so once I was like, okay, so to be more specific, I guess like the 6-week span from Wheaton to basically the end of the regular season, like that time frame, I wasn't really doing anything. Couldn't move very well, wasn't nearly as fast, couldn't hold my gap down as well as I could before. Once it started to heal up, it kind of propelled me to kind of the start I had, going into junior year. But yeah, just that injury alone had kind of set me back a little bit. But once that had healed up, the added weight and just knowledge of the game in general helped me a ton.
Yeah, it was that you had 2.5 sacks in the national championship game. So.
Yeah, that was like, I have never felt the way I felt on a football field before that game. It was crazy. Like the amount. I mean, it was our first time being there. My first time ever playing in a championship game, and like I felt like 50 pounds lighter. I felt like I was flying around. I don't know what it was, or if it was the food we ate down in Texas, but like my body felt great. It's like I hadn't played a single game up until that point in terms of like how my body felt. But yeah, that was something else. I've never felt that way again since then.
So going back to the topic of Stag Bowls, can you tell us a little bit more about? You kind of hit it on the nail with your experience from the first Stag Bowl to the second Stag Bowl, but like, can you give us a little bit background from the winning one and losing one, in the instance of like the drive to get back for a third one?
Yeah. So first time around, it was really new for everybody. We'd never been there before. I know my freshman year and I think 2 or 3 years prior to that, we'd only made it to the second round every year and then we'd lose. So super new and exciting for everybody. As much as I would like to say that I was expecting it. Like I don't know if you can't really expect to be in something you've never been in before. So it was super, super new, super exciting. Everybody was in a sense just kind of like happy to be there and excited to be there. The second time around in Canton is totally different. Like anything short of winning a national championship would be a disappointment. We had basically the same team coming back except for Brock. And we had Luke play all of that COVID year to get a year of experience and then play his freshman season. In our minds, yeah, like I said, anything short of getting there and winning would be a disappointment. So it wasn't new and exciting like it was the first time this past time around. It was just a business trip. Like this is what we're here to do. This is what we plan to do. So there really wasn't this added emotion and excitement to it, which I think that's not a bad thing. That was just something that we were expecting to do. And like were we excited? Yeah, we were. But it wasn't like this new thing where like everything like, oh, like look at this hotel, it's so nice. Like it was like we expected that. Ended up losing, you know, we had a number of players who were under the weather that game. So that drive to get to a third one has only increased just because like I said in the beginning, the way the season ended was sour, left a sour taste in my mouth and a lot of other players' mouths. So the drive to get to another one is more urgent than it's ever been. Trying right now to just take things 1 week at a time. You know, I'm not trying to not look too far ahead. Sometimes that can be hard, but trying to not get too far ahead of myself right now. But the drive is deeper than it's ever been, I would say.
I mean, you're on pace right now for it.
Yeah, that's the goal, and you know, anything less than same last year, anything less than that would be somewhat of a disappointment. So yeah, just trying to correct new things each week, so then when we get to big games, we'll be ready to play.
So I know you kind of like a little bit jumped into sort of personal stuff of goals, at least this year, trying to improve every week and everything like that. But just to give you a little heads up, you're at 17.5 sacks in your career. You're one away for tying 7th all time, which is pretty insane. 31.5 tackles for loss right now. And then you're 3 away from sole possession of 10th all time. So I don't know if that adds to your personal goals a little bit. Trying to be on that list and trying to be ranked up in that list, but you know.
Yeah.
Didn't know if you knew that. I didn't know if you guys.
No, I did not know that.
A little math helped me, I guess.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, a little math helped me. I kind of did the whole math. I was like, all right, if this is where he's at right now, okay, this is what he got the last couple of games. Let's just add it up. And then I just looked at the 10th and 7th and I was like, oh, wow, he's really close and all that stuff. That's why I said earlier, by the way, it's a gem because, you know, you didn't want, first off, didn't really want to play college football, but then you come back and then it's like, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to go head first in this thing. And then next thing you know, you're away from history. So
yeah. No, I don't know. It's been a little bit different this year. Just I've got a little bit of a lingering injury going on, so I'm trying my best to just focus on, you know, helping to develop younger guys too, along with doing what I can. You know, I only played, you know, I think 12 snaps this past week and only 14.
I think it was like every third down.
Yeah, that was all I did. Trying to work back into it. So right now I'm kind of putting like stats and stuff to the side, you know, not really worrying about it, just trying to get my body right so I can step in and hopefully be able to play more.
I mean, get the body right for 2 weeks. 2 weeks from now.
Yeah.
Big
but yeah,
game
that's
right
the
there.
plan. Just trying to be able to step in more frequently than, you know, 12 snaps a game. Not necessarily looking for you know, crazy highlight plays, but just to be able to do my job and do without feeling like I have a bum leg running around. But so yeah, for the most part, that's kind of just been on the sideline.
Personal stuff, just like let me get a little bit better. Let me help out the younger group here and try to build a culture that's going to be up there with, you know, the purple powerhouses of Mount Union and Marion Hart Baylor and Whitewater. Is just having those consistency of those years. But you know, as a team, talked about it. I mean, anything less than going to the Stag Bowl, you know, is a disappointment. But as a defense, you know, you were one part of, you know, one of the best defense back in 2019, and then in 2021, as well as being up there in the ranked in the top 5. I mean, this year, as the start of this year, the defense looks like it can be the best in all of Division III.
Yeah, we got a lot of new faces, so I think that was a big question at the end of last year. Is, you know, how are we going to fill 5-6 spots of 5th-year guys who graduated? Got a couple transfers to come in. We got Julian back.
I know Julian. I went to high school with Julian. I graduated with him.
Okay. Dan Lester has stepped up big time on the D-line to fill the void that Cam Martin had left. Biggest thing right now is, you know, we got skill guys in positions that are very talented. It's just getting used to playing with new faces. I think, like I said, we have 5 or 6 new guys. Getting used to working with different people, communicating across all 3 levels with different people. It's been slightly different, not having Ben and Storm, who could set things up, immediately is a little bit different. But that's how they were too at the beginning of their career. Things didn't come immediately, but
it took reps and took repetition and everything, games.
But the 2 linebackers have stepped up big time. Angelo has been playing really well, and BJ's been playing awesome.
BJ just won on a student athlete, I believe.
Yeah, he won student athlete of the week. So I'm super proud of those guys, and I've seen how much work they put in during the spring, during fall camp, how much time they put in, and how much they truly care about their teammates. So that's one of the things that I really appreciate from them, is just how much they care. Because you can have the most talented guy, but if he doesn't care about the people that he's around, then how useful is he?
How's he gonna help the team?
Yeah.
Team chemistry may not be the greatest.
Yeah.
Trust me, I've been there. There was a D1 guy on my baseball team that everyone hated in high school. We didn't win anything.
Yeah.
I mean, he was
probably really good.
He was really good.
Yeah.
Yes, where he didn't really go far.
Yeah.
He didn't really go far. So.
But yeah, those guys have been awesome. So it's nice having building chemistry pretty quick.
I was gonna say quick chemistry, at least with new guys and coming into the season with high hopes and high expectations. You kind of worry, and then you say having that nice little chemistry build and everything. By the time you're looking 8 weeks into the season, that chemistry should be almost complete.
Yeah.
And this, to say the least. But having those defensive line guys back, the whole core back, how did that feel when you guys all communicate hey, we're all coming back together, or is it one person came back and then another person came back?
It all kind
of you talk about chemistry, having those guys there. I mean, that's perfect chemistry right there.
Yeah. We all kind of came back at the same time. We didn't really talk to each other about it. It just kind of all happened. But playing with those guys is awesome. That stuff. I know Dan Lester had mentioned it, but playing with those guys is something that we've kind of envisioned since we were freshmen here. Yeah. Having Brandon, Tyler come back too has been awesome. Me and Tyler have a great communication, or great what's the word I'm looking for? Chemistry between each other. We know when certain things are happening and how to play against them. I know that I can always rely on Tyler. Tyler's been a workhorse since he's gotten here, and I know that I can always rely on him if my bum leg goes down, that I know that Tyler's going to be in there and is going to be able to play both positions just as well. And then me and Brandon too, we can just look at each other and know what we're going to do, because we had all of 2021 to play together. We've watched film together. So the chemistry between us playing next to each other is second to none. So it's definitely helped a ton, especially with the bad leg. It helps being able to play next to guys that you've played next to before, just because things run just a little bit smoother.
A little bit smoother. You get to the quarterback faster. You get just everything is just a little bit better.
Yeah.
I mean, what you think about rapid fire questions?
I guess we can throw a little bit of rapid fire.
You want to go back and forth with it?
If you want to go back and forth with it.
All right, Dan, are you ready?
So to clarify this, every guest that we'll have on will have rapid fire questions just to get to know the person, and if they say anything outrageous, we'll talk about it. Because I feel like there's going to be some people we have on here that we're going to ask them a rapid fire question. They're going to say something outrageous. You're like, whoa, wait a minute.
Gotta talk about that. Yeah.
Got a little bit step back.
I'm going to go a little out of order in this.
You're going to go a little bit out of order?
This list that we have.
It's a long list. You're welcome, by the way.
I think.
This is all he did, man.
Okay.
I think the fans want to know this. Country or rap?
I do prefer rap. I'm not, just one or just the other, but generally it's mainly rap.
Is that like pregame?
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
I'm most of the time. I don't know. There's not really a lot of country music that I like right now. You can only hear about red trucks and beer cans so often before it's just not really appealing.
I'm a big country guy, so I took a little
Oh,
bit.
really?
I
apologize about
I think
that.
that's the baseball in me. It's a little bit
It's
of
the
the baseball.
baseball. No,
But,
rap is where it is. Okay.
But
Well, you know my
I also-
playlist, Myron. There's a mixture of both.
there also is a lot of rap that I don't like. So it's kind of just like listening to the artists that I like, I guess. But to say an answer, rap probably.
Rap. All right, let's get a little bit faster here. Day or night game?
Night game,
Chocolate or vanilla?
chocolate,
Cats or dogs?
dogs.
Sox or Cubs?
I don't like baseball.
Oh,
Sorry,
yeah, okay.
sorry.
All right, go-to food.
Deep dish, thin crust.
Oh, deep dish.
Okay. I want to hear this. I want to hear the view. One teammate to give an aux to, and then one teammate to not give an aux
man.
to. Who's getting the aux?
Geez. I'm gonna say Sam Pryor, just because he's a cool dude. I'm gonna give
Really?
it
Okay. One teammate you would not give the aux to. Who is not touching?
Bryce Dorsey.
Oh, Bryce. Oh, that's crazy. Best football movie?
Friday Night Lights or Remember the Titans. I like Friday Night Lights. I'm gonna go Friday Night Lights.
Bags or cornhole?
Bags.
The last show you binge watched?
Stranger Things. Didn't start watching it until a couple months ago, so watched it all in like 2 weeks.
That's crazy. I still haven't watched season 4 yet.
Really? You lost it in 2 weeks? I've watched it in 1 day, so don't want to talk about it.
Leave that
Don't want to talk
alone.
about it. Last question here. Sharing on deserted island. 3 things you got to bring.
Okay. Water bottle. A knife. A magazine to read.
A magazine.
Or a book.
That's
or a book.
different.
So are you a book guy? Are you like read books?
I do like to read books sometimes.
Favorite book?
I just
Very series then, I guess, because I know some books have series and stuff. So
Yeah.
series or book?
I read this book on breathing that was really cool.
Breathing?
Yep. On the lungs and how it can help you in a lot of different ways if you do it properly.
Talking about like meditation, like breathing type thing.
Kind of.
Okay.
That's dope.
That
I don't
is
know
actually-
why, but I'm like really into nonfiction books, like scientific books.
Sci-fi and stuff.
So like, I just read a book over the summer about the immune system that was really cool. It's
so weird.
a weird
Yeah.
because it's like why would anybody want to know about that? But I read a book on breathing.
So then, when it comes to movies or books that are movies, are you someone that prefers the book more or the movie more?
Oh, no, I the movie for sure.
Okay, thank you.
So
Okay. Thank you.
That's an interesting take. I'm not gonna lie.
For someone that likes books, like a lot of book people are like, no, book is way better.
I'm not gonna say that I'm a book person because I'm gonna be honest. I didn't read a book from cover to cover until my sophomore year at college. I high school did not read a single book.
You say not sophomore year. I haven't read one book cover to cover ever in my life.
I wasn't a very good reader either. Like I'd read 2 pages and then I'd stop and think about it and realize I don't remember a single thing that I would read.
Same.
So reading was not my strong suit, and then I think it was sophomore or junior year of college when I think it was a COVID year. I think it's like I need to get better at reading. It's good for me, so tried to start reading some nonfiction books, and now I actually kind of enjoy it.
Now you enjoy it. Anybody out there that doesn't think reading's enjoyable?
Definitely took some
It's
time.
essential to life.
Yeah, definitely took some time. But yeah, trying to become, in the process of becoming a book person. Yeah.
Okay, I don't have a book to recommend. I don't know if
I don't
Byron
either,
does.
so
I
don't-
don't have I don't have a book to recommend that is nonfiction. I guess we can get into Is other stuff you want to talk about?
Hold on, I got one more
yeah,
question.
One more question?
It's very broad. I mean, I don't know if you will ever see yourself doing this, but one day down the road, do you think you would ever get into like the business of making music, and like what would you prefer to make? Like, would you do rap, or would you lean towards making better country music, since you say it's not that good right now?
You may just not be listening to the right people. You don't say that too.
I don't really have the greatest singing voice.
I mean, you could produce.
I don't know that stuff takes. It looks. I don't nothing about it. So, right off the rip, I'd say I probably would never get into that. But it is really cool how people can put beats together and how artists can like rap to beats so well. I don't know if I'm like making enough sense to like convey what I'm trying to say. It's just I guess what I'm trying to say is it seems really hard. I don't know how to do it. So
I can always show you.
Okay.
I'm not saying I'm good at it, but I can show you.
Myron tries to be a rapper a lot. We get into the studio, like up there in the studios, and they passed. We'll try to work on. We used to work on projects all the time last year. We were in the same production class last year, and this man would spend the first 30 minutes trying to rap on a beat.
Hey, could that get your creative mind going? It gets you thinking about so many different things. So it's interesting.
So do you watch Hard Knocks? Or have you seen anything?
I've watched some of it.
Watched some of it. You seen it like Aiden Hutchinson dance to?
I have not.
You have not?
No,
okay, recommend watching a clip. I guess they brought up the rookies and they asked like, "What's your honey bonus?" And you got to do something. And so he did a dance, and he was singing. He was singing and dancing to "Billie Jean" by Michael Jackson.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's actually a really cool clip. It's a really funny clip. But then I was gonna yeah, you got to find it somewhere. It's not on YouTube.
It's probably on YouTube.
Yeah, something like that. But I was gonna ask, do you guys do that for any of the freshmen? It's not really hazing, but it's like it's like during like
Hazing.
filming or something,
We
like
don't
during
haze.
film or like do you guys like?
We'll not really. We'll do like the freshmen will like have to do like a dance. For
Yeah, that's what I'm
like
saying.
5 seconds. So and then
Okay, yeah, that's what it's the same thing that like they were doing or whatever. That's why.
That's about the only like quote unquote hazing.
It's not really hazy. It's just
It's a fun activity as a team to get to know your teammates truly
yeah,
and get to
if
see
they're
their
new guys-
personalities.
Yeah, if they're new guys, you definitely want to, see what they're all about.
Yeah.
If they're funny or whatever.
Yeah.
Did Myron have to do something like that?
I don't know. I couldn't even remember.
Did you really?
I did.
Yeah, but I mean, we all had to.
I don't
do it.
remember my
had to do
dance.
it.
Yeah, it's been a while.
But besides that, like for the most part, younger guys take the equipment down to practice.
Yeah,
That's the standard.
That's an easy one.
That's about the.
We tried to do that for baseball, and at that point, we just kind of take the buckets ourselves.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, that would be the extent of our like freshman initiation or
Freshman
whatever
initiation.
you want to call it.
Well, I mean, there's like other stuff that people have done, like talking about like the singing, stuff like that, the practice, getting all this stuff. One of my buddies who played college football, it was a small school somewhere in Colorado. Completely forgot what it was. But his freshman thing was that they told him the coaches. The seniors like got into like asked the coach to send out an email or whatever, and they like got to coach to send out an email saying there was practice at this time, and there wasn't practice at this time, and they all showed up and they had to bring down every single equipment, and so the coaches didn't know. The coaches didn't know, right? So the coaches were just yelling at them like, "What are you doing?" And we're like, "We have practice." Like, "No, we don't have practice." And I guess all the seniors were out
crazy.
there. Yeah, I thought it was funny.
That's
That was a good one. I guess if you want to stay and talk about NFL. You're all good too if you want to.
Sure. I mean, my picks are going to be extremely uneducated.
You know what? We're
It's
all
all right.
for it.
It's
I'm
all
super
right.
out of the loop. I feel like the more football I've studied and tried to learn, the less I know about other college football and NFL. Like I could not name. I can name probably 3 players on the Bears. I mean, I'm not a Bears fan, so given that, but like even like the Steelers, I don't know much about the Steelers team right now.
How'd you become a Steelers fan?
Honestly, I don't know. It's just like out the womb, my family was big Steelers fans. So
well, his hair matches Troy Polamalu.
yeah,
So it
and he was actually my favorite player growing up too.
Perfect.
That's crazy.
Okay, I gotta ask about the hair thing. Was it just a decision? You're like, I'm just not getting a haircut, or was it just something that
I don't remember. I think it
You
just
don't
happened
remember?
naturally. When I was a kid, I don't know if like my mom would make me get. I think I like got haircuts whenever like I wanted to get a haircut, and I just like didn't really want to go.
the next thing you know, you just got this?
So like it would get like it would grow like an inch and a half. I'd cut it a half inch off. Grow another inch, cut half an inch off again. So it was like super gradual, but it's been like around this length or like long since like third grade probably. From there,
That's a
I
long
just
time.
was like, I'm now the guy with the long hair and just got it.
That's a staple.
You rock it though.
Try-
So
I
like
try
it's
my
all good.
best. Yeah, that's
Especially when you get a sack. I mean, that's what I'm like waiting for. I'm waiting for you get a sack, your helmet comes off, and you just
start
flip the
throwing
hair.
it.
Yeah, just flip the hair a little bit. Don't worry about the picks. I got 3 right last week. I had a terrible week. Myron he did better than me. He got 6 right.
Hey, I'll take
6 is
that.
better
That's a
than 3.
W in my book.
We still got 2 games tonight.
True.
Give you quick picks before we kind of talk about anything that happened previously. Buffalo Bills, Tennessee Titans.
Definitely the Bills. Right.
Smart choice.
Smart choice. Philadelphia or Minnesota?
I like Jalen Hurts a lot. I think he's an awesome competitor, and he's probably one of my favorite players in the NFL. So I'm gonna go definitely with the Eagles.
Yeah, we both went Eagles as well. So you're on the same path, at least as us. If that tells you about what our record would be, don't know if those two picks will be right. But we'll get into, I guess, the first one. You have Mitchell Trubisky as you guys' quarterback now.
How do you feel about that?
How do you feel about that? Because me and Myron have gone through 4 years of just ups and downs with this man.
Ooh.
Yeah. I mean,
Is it Kenny Pickett time?
he's not the worst quarterback of all time.
He's up there. He's close.
I mean, he threw. I don't know if you can pull stats up, but I'm pretty sure he only threw for like 140 yards or 150 yards this week, and I'm pretty sure last week before overtime he had also only thrown for like 160 yards at that point.
Yeah, 158 if you want to count the interception yards that taken off. So 158.
Yeah. I don't know.
Just not
maybe
good.
I mean, I'm not in their meeting rooms or anything, but maybe he'll start to pick it up. I don't know.
It's probably Kenny Pickett time. I feel
He
like
needs some more black Air Force Ones.
more black Air Force Ones.
Did you not see? Did I tell you that last week?
Yes, yes, you did. He picked Mike Tomlin to be coach of the year just because he got him black Air Force
Mike
Ones.
Tomlin is the man.
Yes.
He seems awesome, but I think Kenny Pickett time might be around the corner, coming up either this week or at some point.
Yeah, Cleveland on Thursday night, so maybe just be Mitch.
Yeah, I would.
Maybe
imagine
Mitch
it
gets
was-
hit by a helmet again. Maybe
Yeah,
Mitch gets hit by a helmet.
You never know.
I guess we gotta talk about it though. Bears Packers. I don't know if you watched it Sunday Night Football. Myron, this is not a rivalry anymore.
It is an embarrassment. But actually, last night the referees in Green Bay, they definitely worked together to win that game. Because Justin Fields scored on the goal line. The ball is clearly across the line. That line looks like the Soldier Field week before, in the crooked sidelines. That's how bad that was. And I also think the holding call that was picked up and waved away, he literally like grabbed the guy from behind and then let him go.
Yeah, but he did get a sack, so
You just add the penalty on to the sack.
true.
It was rigged. I feel like, okay, now the offense could have played a lot better. Could have, but the defense could have played a little better as well. I mean, eventually this Bears franchise is going to figure it out versus the Packers, but it was an embarrassment to watch last night.
Kyle Gordon sucks. He sucks.
Only his second
Game.
week in the
He sucks.
NFL. He's a rookie.
He sucks. He's getting targeted every single time.
It's okay. That's the point
He
of
sucks.
him being a rookie. They're going to target you.
He sucks.
He's going to get better. Just relax. It's okay.
When was the last time the Bears beat the Packers?
It was back in 2019, the first game of the season, 2019.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah, it's not a rivalry
3
anymore.
years.
You know, they put it on primetime because it's the Bears versus Packers, and then every single time it's, Bears lose by 10 plus points.
That's because they always play in Lambeau. When was the last time they played a primetime game in Chicago for the Packers versus Bears?
I believe it was.
The last time they won was 2019, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it was. It was 2019, week 1.
Because they beat them in 2018 when they played at Lambeau, and that was the last time I think they beat them in Lambeau.
I should have this up somewhere.
It's okay. I mean,
well, no, I
the
literally
Bears
just wrote an article
every year.
about the Bears and Packers, so I do have it up. Apologies, it was the last game in 2018. You're right, though. The last primetime game that was at Chicago, I said that weird, at Chicago, was week 1 of the NFL in 2019. And
the Chicago Bears team, even though the Packers don't have all the weapons that they had in years past, they still have Aaron Rodgers. I'm not going to sit here and say he owns the Bears franchise, but he has constantly terrorized the Bears franchise for years.
I mean, 25 wins.
I think he's going to take them past the Bears in all-time wins, so it's okay.
It's
a rivalry forever. You can't take it away.
I know you can't take it away.
The Bears haven't been good in the last 15, 30 years.
Sam wow, I'm going to mess that one up.
Sam Mufferford?
Sam Mufferford, the starting center last night. Myron's very upset.
He just doesn't cut it.
He needs to
go.
We
have to wait until Lucas Patrick his hand is healed. So I think once he's healed with his hand, the offensive line fixes itself. But this Bears team has still a lot of issues. But, I mean, you play a team like the Packers who are every year competitors, it's going to happen to you.
It is going to happen to you. Another game I kind of want to talk about, it's in your Pittsburgh division, Baltimore Ravens, Miami Dolphins, but Baltimore Ravens. My pick this year to win MVP was Lamar Jackson.
He still can win it. Did you see him embarrass the Dolphins for a very long time?
He did, but also Tua right now
6 touchdowns,
leading the MVP probably conversation right now.
No.
How did he play last week?
Not good.
He played terrible last week.
He didn't really play that good. There was a lot of clips of him doing the duck ball throw where it went about 10 yards, but then he figured it out going to the fourth quarter of that game. But yeah, I have Lamar Jackson winning MVP.
I still do too. I mean, it's just one game. They're 1-1. It happens to the best of teams. You see teams lose all the time. But I just don't think this Miami Dolphins team will continue to do stuff like that. I mean, I think this is probably once every while you're going to see this Dolphins team wake up. Because Tua isn't going to be this consistent. He has shown that and proven he cannot be consistent week in and week out.
Jalen Waddle, though, and Tyreek Hill.
You have 2 great receivers, but a mediocre quarterback.
I feel like that's still you can still get it done.
You can, but can Tua be consistent? That's the biggest question. Consistency.
No, he can't be. I don't think he can be either. We'll get into some picks here from week number 3 because week number 2, I mean, first off, we only won 3. I only picked 3 games right.
Yeah, we should leave that in the past.
It was a really bad week. I think Josh Allen though, and hopefully Jalen Hurts, even though I do have Jay Jets, going off in the game because I do have him in fantasy and I want to win. You're 0-2 still.
Who?
You.
I'm currently winning my game.
Are you winning your game?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were gonna be 0-2.
I should have been winning. Last time I checked, I was winning. So I'll double check after the podcast today.
I believe you might be still winning. I don't know. All I know is I hope you lose, so I don't have to. So I can be 1-1 and he can be 0-2. But let's get in some picks though. Again, you have very low, like the bar is set very low.
Okay, cool.
So you have a potential
chance
of getting this very, very high. We'll start with your team, Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Thursday night football.
Gotta be Pittsburgh.
Easy pick for you.
Yeah. Analytics aside, all from a fan perspective.
All from a fan perspective. Do you think Mitch is going to actually have a good game?
Sure hope so. I don't know if he will, but I sure hope so.
I'm going to go Cleveland on this one. All right, never mind. He gave me the death stare. I'm gonna go. With that death stare, I'm definitely going Mike Tomlin, Black Earth 401 energy here. So
I feel like that I have to go Pittsburgh too after that death stare that Dan gave. He was like, man, I really came on your podcast, and you're not going to pick
disrespect me. Disrespect me right then and there.
Houston, Chicago.
Chicago.
Yeah.
I mean, there's really as much as
Is this
I'm gonna say.
you?
I know I picked Houston last week, and they ended up losing to Denver. Denver sucks, and so does Russell Wilson.
Lovey. Ooh.
So Lovey and his return to Chicago.
Return to Chicago. That's gonna be big.
It's gonna be big, but Chicago's definitely gonna pull it out. Vegas, Tennessee.
Vegas.
Yeah, Raiders.
Yeah.
It depends on which Derrick Henry shows up versus the Raiders, but I'm gonna go Raiders.
You're gonna go Raiders as well. Well, I'm going Raiders just because I know that they choked the game away from the Arizona Cardinals, which Kyler Murray, video game like stuff he was doing at the end of there, played out of his mind. You know, it's the first time he won when Call of Duty has double XP weekend. He was 0-47.
What has he
been?
0-48.
That's a actual.
It's an actual stat. Yes.
Wow.
Yes, he was 0-48 when Call of Duty had double XP weekend, and there was a double XP weekend, I believe, this weekend. Yeah, and also the beta came out for the new Call of Duty.
He's been playing that.
So he's been playing that on stream. So now he finally got his first victory. So people can't really, I guess, can't really give him crap for that.
Yes, they can. Yes,
really.
they can. He's 1-40, whatever. You can give him crap.
That was a weird contract, by the way, with the video game thing or like the film watching where he had to be
he had to hit like a minimum number of hours, right? A film watched or something.
Yeah, because everyone was saying that
he wasn't watching film.
He wasn't watching film. He was playing video games and stuff like that. Do you guys have a minimum hours watch film? No.
But you should watch film as a great teammate.
There's kind of
and a great football player.
There's kind of like an unspoken standard that you watch.
I was just saying because I've been in class and I've had football players in class and they just have their computer just rolling with film, and then they'll like check it out and they'll like go back to certain plays, but like sometimes they just have film just rolling. So I just didn't know if there was like a minimum hours that you had to get to. I'm not gonna call out any football. I'm not gonna say any names. But you know who you are if you've
if you've done that. No, I mean you can generally tell on the field who watches film and who doesn't. You know, obviously there's going to be, a couple minutes here or there where you're not always watching it. But yeah, generally on the field you can tell who is watching and processing and understanding the film as opposed to people who are just kind of like staring at the screen
and just like letting it go through.
Yeah.
In class, just letting it go through.
So yeah, you can tell without actually looking at the numbers that they post.
Gotcha. We'll move on to the next game. Kansas City, Indianapolis.
Kansas City.
Yeah.
We're all going to probably have the same picks for a while here, just for the way this lines up. Also, Indianapolis needs to figure something out. Somehow
Matt Ryan is not the quarterback for them.
I feel like
you got shut out. Jonathan Taylor had like 53 rushing yards.
Mm-hmm.
It was an embarrassment. But we can move on past
Jacksonville.
To Jackson. Yeah, that is bad.
You figured it out. Buffalo, Miami.
Buffalo.
Yeah, Buffalo.
Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs. Come on now.
I'll do Buffalo too. Here's a good one. Detroit, Minnesota.
The Vikings.
Detroit just got a win. First time, by the way, they were favored in I think 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah, first time they were favored in 2 years, and they ended up winning. They ended up killing the Commanders. Aiden Hutchinson, by the way, my pick for Rookie of the Year, who you said wasn't going to win Rookie of the Year.
He's not.
Because he's too small. Had 3 sacks.
Wow.
6 tackles for loss.
You played the Washington Commanders.
And?
They're not good.
They're good.
They're still NFL football players.
Yeah, come on.
To be honest, you're right.
I would say Lions for that one.
I'm going to go Detroit as well. I'm riding this bandwagon.
Kirk Cousins guarantee you fully money. I'm going Kirk Cousins.
See, again, I'm going to pick Detroit, but Jay Jets is going to have a great game for me because I need him in fantasy. Baltimore, New England.
Baltimore.
See, this is the thing. I want to go Lamar Jackson, but it's Bill Belichick.
Yeah, Bill is the man. I'm going to go with the Patriots.
Okay. I'm going to go with Baltimore. Just got to ride Lamar Jackson this entire season to try to win MVP. Cincinnati, New York Jets.
Joe
Flacco's elite. You know that, right?
He's vintage.
He's third in NFL passing yards.
No, I know.
And
but I'm saying he's
he
like
just had a
vintage.
comeback
He's
win
old.
against the Browns.
That is a odd.
You should be happy about that with the Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
The Browns team does not look good right now at all.
Yeah,
At least
come
going
back.
into this
I
game.
don't know yet.
Who?
The Jets or the Bengals?
Jets or Bengals? Yeah, probably Bengals, to be honest.
You gonna figure it out? You really
Yeah, I
think
will,
they're gonna figure it
but
out?
who are you going with?
I want to go with the Jets now, just because to be different. But
I think this week Joe Burrow figures it out.
that offensive line figures out. I mean, he's been sacked so many times.
And they signed offensive linemen this offseason to help
Did
that,
you-
and it's
did
been
you see
worse.
I don't know if you follow on Twitter, Freezing Cold Takes. They posted a picture of this graphic or whatever, this guy that got signed, and he was just like, your bodyguard's here, no one will touch you. And I think he's allowed the most sacks on that offensive
Wow.
line.
That's
So
great.
you want to talk about a
That's
tough one there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Cincy. As well, just because I feel like if I go to the Jets, they're just gonna lose by 30. And it's just gonna be bad. Philadelphia, Washington.
Yeah, the Eagles.
I gotta go Philly.
The
too.
Commanders just lost to the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, you're right.
You cannot pick them after
You're
that.
right. North Carolina. Wow, that was a bad one. New Orleans or Carolina. I mean, it's your pick of Jameis.
This
Your
is
pick
hard.
of Jameis, a comeback player of the year. By the way, played terrible last week.
I watched that game. He did play bad. I think I'm going Saints.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'll probably go Saints as well.
Saints as well. I'm gonna go Carolina. Got to be different. There's a lot. I just got to be different. I can't do the.
That's a good pick, though. I mean,
It's not a
they're
bad
not
pick.
bad,
It's
but
not a bad pick. Jacksonville Chargers. I got to go Chargers.
Chargers.
I'm winning. I'm picked them to win a Super Bowl.
Trevor
Yeah,
Lawrence
I
isn't
feel,
gonna
yeah.
get it.
That would make the most sense. Chargers.
Arizona versus the Rams.
Ooh, this is tough.
The Rams almost choked the game away against the Atlanta Falcons last week. Drake London is
The guy.
the guy. Probably should have picked him over Chris Olave
Probably.
to be Rookie of the Year. Arizona, they may come back.
If Kyler plays the way he played in the second half,
Mm-hmm.
the Cardinals will win this game.
So are you going Cardinals?
I'm going to go Cardinals.
You going to go Cardinals?
I think I'm going to go Rams just because I like Matt Stafford.
Okay, I'm going to be the cider here, and I think I'm going to go. I feel like I'm going to go Rams just because of that defense.
I knew you were going to say it. That's the same thing that came to my mind.
Yeah,
in the moment.
that defense I feel like is not like the Raiders defense. It was going to allow
Big plays. Off
that big play, that 2-point conversion that took like 85 yards. That Kyler was just like running around 85 yards. Something probably Luke probably could do.
Yeah, probably. Probably.
Atlanta, Seattle. Battle of two of the pretty much terrible birds, terrible teams.
Atlanta.
You got Atlanta?
I'll just go Seahawks just because.
Just because. I mean, it's two terrible teams. So, like, you have no idea who's going to go.
Just 50-50 on this one.
I'm going to go 50-50 as well, but I think I'm leaning towards Atlanta to have because of the almost comeback that they had against the Rams. And Drake London, hopefully, will have another big game.
Who will see?
We'll see. Green Bay, Tampa Bay. Champa Bay. It's a tough one.
This is a tough one. You have two old quarterbacks. Tom Brady
Well,
didn't look too good in the first half.
And that's your
versus-
MVP pick.
I know. He didn't look too good versus the Saints in the first half. He was struggling a little bit.
He broke an iPad.
But I also think.
Do you guys have that on the sidelines? The tablets and
I don't
stuff?
think we're allowed to.
Really? Just only big colleges get it?
It was weird though. In high school, we were allowed to watch film on the sideline, but
Mhm.
I don't think you're allowed to watch film in college because I know the iPads that they have in the NFL, it only shows a picture of the play right before the snap and then a picture 2 seconds into the play. So you don't like actually get to watch film on it.
You get
You only get like 2 pictures per play.
Gotcha. But they know what happens to the play.
Yeah.
So like they just talk about it. I guess.
Okay. What were we talking about again?
The Packers.
Oh, the Packers.
I'm gonna go to Bucks here.
You know the Bucks
because the Packers beat my Bears, so I need Aaron Rodgers to lose again.
I'm going to Green Bay. They just looked a lot better. And when it came to Tampa Bay, I don't know if they come out struggling like that. I feel like the Packers are going to figure it out.
Isn't Tampa Bay supposed to be a pretty good defensive team?
Yeah, they have a lot more offensive weapons this year. Because Julio didn't play. Chris Godwin didn't
play.
So
Evans is going to be suspended
for the referee thing.
For the punching of Marquise Lattimore.
Oh yeah, not the ref.
But the defense for Tampa Bay, it's good, but it's not
where it has been the last 2 years.
For the last 2 years, they struggled a lot in week number 1, and then in week number 2, they stepped up in the second half.
I mean, they played good in the first half. Only gave up 3 points.
But everyone played bad that first half.
Yeah.
It was a bad game to watch.
I'm going to go Bucks.
Bucks?
Yeah.
Tampa Bay?
Yeah.
They win everything. San Francisco, Denver. I'm going San Francisco because Jimmy G's back.
Jimmy G's back.
Jimmy G's back.
That's terrible for Trey Lance. What is he? Broke his ankle?
I believe it's a broken ankle. Yeah.
That's unfortunate for him. But yeah, Jimmy G's back. He's definitely gonna upset Russell Wilson. That Broncos team isn't good.
They won barely.
They're not good.
Hackett is not a good coach.
I think he's. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd go 49ers.
Yeah, it's not really a tough pick. This one, maybe. Somehow this is the Monday night game.
The Cowboys won.
The Cowboys won with Cooper Rush. Dallas at the New York Giants.
The Giants have been playing pretty good.
Saquon's on an MVP tear right now. Well, to start the season. It's a quarterback award, so.
It's interesting because the Cowboys don't know who they want to be their running back.
Yeah, they have Zeke and Pollard, which is very upsetting because I have Zeke on my fantasy team.
I do too. He's only given me 10 points in 2 weeks. So
yeah, 5 points each. It's just not. It's not productive.
Anybody want to make a trade?
Yeah.
Call me.
If anybody wants to make a trade, it'd be good. Tony Pollard, I mean, looked good, but at the same time, it's hard. It's like the old John Madden quote with the 2 quarterbacks. If you have 2 quarterbacks, you don't have a quarterback. Mm-hmm. You have 2 running backs.
You don't have a running back.
If they don't, I mean, you could say that, but then Green Bay's like, we have running backs.
They played the Bears defensive
line.
But
they played the Bears defensive line. So I'm gonna go. I'm going to Dallas. Cooper Rush is going to get it done. And Dallas, again, I picked them to win the NFC East, but I believe that Cooper Rush is their guy. I know it was a bad pick. Don't look at me.
I'm going Giants.
Giants?
Yeah, I think I might go Giants on this one, too.
It'll be very upsetting when Dan's got, like, the best record.
One of you guys will have to let me know how I did.
Mario will probably let you know. Yeah, we'll see. We're trying to keep it track. And we'll also add in the 2 games that you picked for Monday night for tonight. But yeah, no, we'll add in. We'll see how you match up. We're gonna try to get every guest to guess every game and see how they just match up. Mm-hmm. Almost like College Game Day when they bring on the guest.
Yeah, that's cool.
Guest picker. Would you? Speaking of College Game Day, would you want if there was an opportunity for like Division III football to have College Game Day? Do you think they would?
Be dope.
Do you think they would come to North Central? I mean, one, they probably will, but probably for the Wheaton game.
Oh, that would be for sure.
But I don't know if that would work with our plaza we got.
It could work.
It could work.
They could figure it out.
We're talking about College Football Game Day, like the TV show.
Yes.
Yeah. Even if you don't put it there, you could put it right behind.
But it'll be like something for Division III.
Oh.
Yeah.
Would they come to North Central? I guess it would depend on the week that they did it. If we were playing Wheaton, then maybe. If they were to do something for D3, I mean, I couldn't imagine any other game they would want to.
I mean, you guys blow everybody out by 40 points.
Yeah.
50 points.
Yeah, they would have to be the weekend game unless we scheduled some
Ranked
powerhouse week 1.
Like Whitewater and Marion Hardin Baylor.
Yeah, they were definitely would have done that game.
Mm-hmm. Who do you think is your biggest competition?
I don't know. I haven't watched film.
Really?
I haven't watched enough film on any of those other teams. But I don't know. I would say Marion Hardin Baylor, just based on
Just because they beat you?
year, and just because they lost that game does not mean that they're bad.
True.
I mean, they got basically all the same guys, and they were pretty good last year. So
yeah, true.
I'm gonna say probably still them.
Probably still them.
But I don't. Yeah, I guess film will let us know.
Before we go, I do have to give you your thoughts on this. Myron had a quote last week.
Oh. Okay.
Myron had a quote last week.
Okay.
We were talking about how you guys started off like your first 2 games are away, and like how that like is. I feel like for me personally, if I was like on the team, I was like, man, why can't we get like a home game right away? He said that pretty much it doesn't matter where we go because we're gonna make every stadium or every
field our home. Yeah.
or every field your home field. I thought it was a very odd quote, a very like just out of nowhere quote.
I don't know. I like playing at some places. I feel like Wabash was kind of a cool environment, but
Yeah, too bad their AC was broken. The press box, but we're gonna talk about it.
really,
Yeah, so
I did not know
the coaches right next to us, all your coaches, everything. We were right next to them doing radio, and the AC unit above was
broken.
It was broken. We didn't know that. We got there and we're like, man, it's like really hot. And I'm like sitting there at the AC thing. I'm like, it's at 67. Like this thing should be cold, right? And at halftime, one of the guys came down that was doing film for NCTV, came down and was like, yeah, the AC's broken. I was like, what?
Crazy
Yeah.
for a brand new like $12 million.
$15 million.
$15 million?
I think it was that or like 12. But,
Jesus.
you'd think that would not be broken.
Yeah, no, it was broken. It was a very tough one.
But yeah, I don't know. I liked playing at Wheaton actually. That was I mean, it was a quick, easy
fun.
drive.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, is it just because of the drive or?
Well, yeah, it's an easy drive, and it's a cool environment to play there too. And I really liked playing at Mount Union. It's a cool environment because you walk through the tunnel and like all the fans are
really?
like around you. As you
I didn't get a chance to go last year, so.
So that was actually that
dope.
was really cool.
And then it rained. It was awesome.
But I do like home games. I do
No.
like not having to leave. I don't like riding the bus because my knees start bothering me after like 15 minutes of sitting on there. So I do heavily prefer home games for the most part.
Do you prefer though home games where the score is a little bit closer? Because I mean, like, as someone that's like sat through the fans of the game, halftime happens and everyone leaves
Yeah,
because you're up by 30.
Yeah,
you're up by 30 at that point, 20 something at that point. We're like, it's over. We're just gonna leave.
Well, I think just like the competitiveness in me enjoys tighter games more. It makes it more enjoyable to be around. You
Really
love playing in big games, in close games.
True, I guess.
But it's really nice to be able to see younger guys be able to get into the game and be excited for them.
Last week you had, third stringers. Everybody was in.
Yeah, and that's awesome, especially for young guys and guys who maybe don't get as much experience and ability to play on Saturdays. For them to be able to get to go in and play in front of their families and all the fans that stick around after halftime, that's awesome for them. So I guess like a mix of both is
Mix of
enjoyable.
both.
Yeah.
I got you. Myron, you got anything else?
No, I just want to say thank you for being our first guest here on the
course.
BTL podcast. It was a great experience. I hope you enjoyed it. Definitely hope you can come back on one more time before your time here at North Central is done.
Yeah, no, it was a ton of fun and I enjoyed being here. This is a cool place. I was telling him earlier, I've been here 5 years and I've never been inside this building, which is way bigger on the inside than it looks on the outside.
Yeah, it's a little small little like house. It feels like a small little like shed, honestly.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it was awesome. So I appreciate you guys having me.
No problem.
Jake, you ready to close it out?
I mean, you do this thing, so you go ahead and do it.
And that's a wrap.